Hello YouTube, how are we doing today? This is the trade recap for April the 8th. Today's a Wednesday. And this was some shorts that I took on SPY today that we actually made profit on. Before I actually start marking everything out, I can show you guys the trade on my phone. The exact screenshot of the trade that we took. Right there. And I'll be ready to mark that out for you guys. Today's trade was similar to yesterday's paper book trade. Loved it. Today's trade was awesome. I really enjoyed it. So one thing that I want to get into today that I really liked a lot was from yesterday. One thing that I got into that I really liked a lot was our ability to take profits on 30-minute time frame. Right. So first, I'm gonna mark out our 1 hour draws on liquidity that we could have target. We could have target here. We could target here. You know, those were our strong 1 hour draws on liquidity to target. But because of the Trump news that came out that we're gonna postpone wars with Iran, we actually had this big overnight rush up. And when you have big overnight rush ups like this, it's real weird for price to come out even higher when you have such high volatility overnight. So knowing this, I kind of use this as a way to get puts to the downside, because this allowed me to getting shorts from the downside allowed me to have better targeting. All right, so let me find this trade for you guys so I can show you exactly what I mean. All right, so first I'm gonna mark out this 30-minute fair value gap that I saw during pre-market. This is the correct 30-minute fair value gap, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is the wrong fair value gap. Sorry. Not that 30-minute fair value gap. It was a 5-minute fair value gap. So this trade that I took today was mainly all on 5-minute. It was mainly an all 5-minute based trade with 30-minute draws on liquidity. Or not 30-minute draws on liquidity. 15-minute draws on liquidity. Right? We had drawn liquidity right there. But one thing that I would love to mention is that this imbalanced price range right here, because this is really important for the trade that we took today. All right, let's get back on the 5-minute so I can show you guys. So we're coming in, and over here, when we have market conditions like this, I saw that we had to change the trend to the downside, but that's really not that powerful, because if we look on the higher time frames, going into it, we are very stagnant. And in order to push down a lot lower, we would have to break past this low to push down a lot lower. So I knew that, and I wanted to target those lows that are resting down there. We can even mark out this one on 5-minute because this one was beautiful, but that was not one of my take profits. But as we can see, it got hit, right? So look, so we hop into the 5-minute time frame, and right here, fair value gap during pre-market, and then we also have an equilibrium during pre-market. This high down to that low. All right, cool, awesome. And I'd like to mention we have a lot of break of structures. You know, break of structure, break of structure, break of structure. No break of structure right here, but that's an important candle. That's an important line that I'd like to mark out. All right, so when we're coming into this during pre-market, we're filling in this gap, and on the 5-minute time frame, we're really stagnant, and we're looking for moves down. So after we come in and we fill in this fair value gap, was this a 15-minute fair value gap as well? I need to make sure of that, because I remember marking this out on higher time frame. No, it was just a 5-minute fair value gap. So look, so we come in and we fill this 5-minute fair value gap up here. All right, so we're coming in, we're sweeping out these little low resistance draws on liquidity in order to retrace a lot higher and fill this fair value gap. So what do we have? We have a change of trend to the downside, then we have a retracement back up to the upside. Orders getting confirmed in this fair value gap. We have no inversion, and we start breaking structure. Right here, we start breaking structure, you know, off those 5-minute lows. So now you might be thinking, all right, what if we just enter like last time on the 1-minute time frame? Because if you guys remember the last trade that we took, we took it on the 1-minute time frame, and that trade was actually not a real trade. It was just a prediction trade. If you guys watched the last video, we go into that. So in this one, you might be thinking, all right, Josh, you got the equilibrium filament on 1-minute. We got fair value gap filament on 1-minute. Why don't we target anything lower? I want to respect our confluence, and I want to respect our strategy that we need a 5-minute retracement. So we start moving down right here, And the reason why I love to mark out this low right here is because that's a significant low on the 5-minute time frame that price needs to break structure on so we can continue moving down, right? So we come in, price break structure right here. What do we know that rests under lows? Liquidity. So after we get the sweep of liquidity and we have this green candle, we can look for an equilibrium retracement. And what do we have? We have that equilibrium retracement. But that candle, when it closed above it, and we peaked above it, and we had a nice high retracement into the equilibrium. And now the reason why I like this so much is because in order for price to move a lot higher, it would have had to move an extra, how many is that? An extra 100 ticks higher, right? And then we start breaking trend right here, and we'd had the inverse for value gap right there. So then we could look to target longs up until here. But for now, we can look to target any puts today, any short positions. And the reason why I was really confirmed on my short bias was because this imbalanced price range, this overnight imbalanced price range is an area where orders didn't get filled, price didn't get filled, and it's an area where price wants to target. So knowing this, we came in, we have our confirmation, we have our confluence that changes trend. So we had the liquidity sweep, we're going down. That's during pre-market. Then we had the break of structures confirming we're going to the downside. Then we have liquidity sweep that causes our retracement into the fair value gap to get filled. So that's our confirmation confluence. That means, all right, we are now confirmed that we're going to continue trending. We're going to continue going down. We're confirmed by that by more break of structures to the downside. And then we have break of structure on a significant low with a retracement. So we came back up and we filled equilibrium on a 5-minute time frame. And knowing that, we are safe to enter in our trade. So my entry was actually all the way up here. I entered the moment we peaked up that high. Stop loss right there. Take profit at the bottom of this imbalanced price range right here. So I know what you guys might be thinking, Javash, why didn't you target here? Why didn't you target here when those got hit? I had a strong bias that this would get hit. I didn't have a strong bias that this would get hit. However, but the reason why I want to do that is that's an area where price lacks. There's no area. That's an area where price isn't there. There's no fillment in those gaps. So knowing that if price comes in and fills those gaps, we could look for an inversion out of that. We could look for price to fill those gaps and start moving higher up into our stop losses, into our ranges. So it's not always the safest idea to target these areas right here. But because this area lied near a low, to me, it was very safe to target. So yeah, that was my trade. Pretty simple trade. Pretty textbook trade. 0.71 to a 2.40 risk to reward. That was a really good risk to reward. We made approximately $45 off this trade. So right now we're green on the week. That's really good. So we won a Trump trade. Trump news trade. We won that. Yesterday's trade, we had a prediction trade, but that ended up being green. And today's trade, we're green. So yeah, we'll see what the trade comes in for tomorrow. Actually, using this video, I want to talk more about what the basics of trading are. So after this video, you guys will see me upload a new video, and in that video, I'll go into a lot more basics on what is trading essentially and how can someone get into it as a first timer. Since I have been getting questions on that, I wouldn't say it's my responsibility, but it's my moral and ethical responsibility. Like, I believe fully in my mind that if I'm going to put information out on the internet about trades that I take, what's harming me from helping other people benefit as well? You know, at the end of the day, it's like all good karma if you really think about it. But yeah, I'm not going to get too much deep into that. This was the trade for today. I really like this trade. We had a lot of break of structures to the downside. We had a lot of sweep of liquidity off low resistant lows. And overall textbook trade today. I know a bunch of people did not trade today because of the involatile range leading up all the way because of this, People didn't trade. But I took the trade today. I was confident in my trade. It worked out. It played out. And the same thing with this is we don't have to be mad that we didn't make a lot of money on it. We traded on a very involatile day because this is a day coming right after news. So my thoughts for next week are news is probably going to start slowing down a lot. We're definitely going to have a bunch of good price action Maybe by this week. I know there's news coming out on Friday on Forex Factory. Next week should be good, and by the end of the month we should be good for price action. But the war being postponed 2 weeks, we got to look out for that, and we got to see what's coming in towards the end of the month. Overall, that's the trade I took. Thank you for guys watching. Stay tuned for a video coming soon about the basics of trading, and I'll basically go over the simplest things possible. It won't be that long of a video. It'll probably be like solid 10-15 minute video. I just want to go over the real basic stuff in order, and when that video does good and we get like a lot of response off that, then I can make a more in-depth video for you guys to watch. Probably these videos aren't going to be like an hour long. Max going to be like 30 minutes. All right. Thank you for the trade today, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Peace, love, always. Hope you guys learned something.